So first thing is we are going to use Jupyter Notebook from this week onwards because we will be working with arrays and table structures, pandas. So it will be good to explain things in Jupyter Notebook. So for that, what you have to do, you have to go to the command prompt and just type pip install install Jupyter Notebook. Okay, so it will install Jupyter Notebook in your system. So for me, it is already installed, so it is saying already satisfied. But if it is not installed, it will install basically. Okay. And once this is done, you just have to type Jupyter -notebook. Okay, I will put these two commands in the notes, but you just have to type this. Okay, so it will take you to the browser, and in your local host, it will open your Jupyter node. Okay. Okay, so this is how your Jupyter notebook looks like. Now, if you see, we can it is showing all the folders in my system. So I'll go to Python projects where I have been creating all the files, right? I will create a new file. So there's this new option, right? And I will say notebook, new Python 3 file, and then I can just rename it. So I will say, so 1 second, let me go back again. So we are in this, right? Okay. I'll create a new file again and rename it. 7. Okay. So this is how Jupyter Notebook looks like. So you have this cell, right? I'll just give a brief introduction to Jupyter Notebook, right? So far we have been using PyCharm and we will use Jupyter Notebook. So similarly, how you write code in PyCharm, you can write here. So for example, you can say print hello world, right? So this is a cell, right? So you can just control enter, or you can run from here as well. Run cell, right? So if you just run it, it will print whatever you have, right? And you can create multiple cells, right? So if you are saying a equal to 2, okay, and again if you are running this cell, so only this cell is running now, okay. So at any point when you run, wherever your cursor is, it will run that cell. It will not run all the cells every time, right? So I have A, and then if I just put A here, it will show that the value of A is 2, right? Also, what you can do, you can add comments as well or headings as well. So you can say, you can put double hash and say this is Python numpy tutorial, right? And you can say this is a markdown, right? Again, control enter, you see this comes as a heading, right? I can add another cell and I can start. So it looks good. If you are sharing this, you know, workbook, this Python Jupyter notebook, someone else, you can add headings that this section talks about NumPy, this section talks about something else. So you can add headings as well. That way it is good. Okay. Another thing is you can also, uh, insert blue new cells, how many ever you want, and then you can start writing your code. And also what you can do, you can also cut. So for example, you don't need this, you can just cut it. It is gone. You can copy paste also, right? Copy a equal to 2, you copy it, and then you come here and paste it. So you can copy paste code from one cell to another cell, right? So this is how your Jupyter notebooks looks like. Okay. So we will start with today's session. We'll start with the NumPy, why we need it, and yeah, let's start. So let me
Ankit,
call it.
one question.
Yeah.
So, does this Jupyter notebook give auto suggestions which PyCharm
No,
was
no.
okay, because this is what earlier I was like we were using in office, and this it is difficult to code in this Jupyter notebook. So that is why I feel,
Yeah,
because it does not give
Ankit,
suggestions.
it
yeah.
is there. It is there in the. You can enable it using that. There is one package called NB extension. You have to add that. I actually add Google, YouTube, these things. It is
Okay,
there.
you can
NB
share in the
extension.
group. I will share with everyone then. That will be great, I think. Yeah.
Oh, okay, okay. I will share that.
Okay.
NB extension is there. We can enable it from there.
Okay. Okay. Thank you. That's
Ankit,
great.
can you show me one more time, like how did you open this Jupyter from the command prompt?
Yeah, I'll add in the notes, but you just have to type these two commands. So for installing Jupyter Notebook, you have to say pip install Jupyter Notebook, and when you are launching it, just type this in your command line, Jupyter-notebook, and it will open up. That's it.
Okay.
Yeah, it will open in your browser. Okay.
Hey
Okay,
Ankit.
great.
So
Yeah.
if we have run something, say in the first cell,
Mm-hmm.
and then we run something in the second cell. So I, I I understand that it won't run whatever was there in the first cell again. But
Mm-hmm.
say we have a function defined in the first cell. So
Yeah, we can use it.
call it in the
We can
second
use
cell.
it. Yeah. This is one Python file, just a different cells. So for example, I defined a equal to 2, but I can x a as well, right?
Okay, got it. So as long as we run it once, we are good to go.
Yeah.
Got it. Thank you.
Okay. So let's talk about NumPy. So NumPy is a module. So we discussed what are modules, right? Module is a reusable Python code basically. And NumPy is also known as numerical Python, right? It is used for numerical computation. It is very, very fast. It looks like a list or list of list, right? But it is much faster than lists, right? So let me create one NumPy array and then I'm going to show you that why it is faster than list. So for that, we have to import a NumPy module, right? This is how we have been importing. And I will alias is as NP. So this is industry standard. Everyone, alias it as NP. So any code you will see, it will always be NP, but not necessarily you can just say N. But NP is standard. So we are importing it as NumPy as NP. Another thing is if NumPy is not installed in your system, which might be a possibility, so you have to do pip install NumPy. This also you will have to run if it is not there in your Python. Okay, so it's there for me. So I have just run it. So I'm saying import NumPy as NP. Okay, now I will create an array, right? Let's say a equal to. So this is my list. Let's say 1 comma 2 comma 3. And now I'm going to create an array, a underscore array, let's say, equal to np dot array. Okay. And then I will pass a list. So I can directly pass a list if I want, like this. Or I can pass a variable. A is a list, so I can even pass a. Okay. And let's create a underscore array. So if you see, this a underscore array is an array, right? And it has 3 elements. Like now it is different from list. How it is different? So let's say what is the data type of this? So I will say dot d type. Okay. So if you want to check the data type of array, I have to say I mean array name dot d type. Okay. You see data type is int32. Okay. Let me change it to 2.0 and again run it. So it is saying float 64. Okay. Now this is the main difference between list and array. List can hold elements of different data types, right? So we can have in the list, we can have first element as integer, second as string, third as float. String can hold different kinds of data types, right? But array will hold only one type. So the moment I made 2.0, it will take everything as float. So if I print this now, print a underscore array, you see everything is float 1.00. So if I make it 2.1, run it, you see 2.1, 1.1, 1.0, 2.1, 3.0. So everything will become float, which means NumPy can hold only a fixed data type. It cannot hold different data types. It is not possible one element of NumPy array is integer, another is float. No, it is a fixed type. While in list we have different kinds of elements. One can be integer, one can be string, and likewise, right? So we also can have a list of list, right? So for example, I have this. So this is my 1D array. Okay. So if I have to say a underscore array dot and dim, it will tell me what is the dimension of your array, right? So it is one dimensional array. If I create another array, let's say, and I will say this 2, 3. It's okay. So this is again in 32. And if I just check dot and dim, you will see it is a two-dimensional array. And if I print it, it will come as a matrix, right? It is coming as a matrix. So this is list of list. You convert it into a two-dimensional array, right? So two-dimensional means it is 2 rows, 3 columns, right? I can check the shape of my array. Dot shape. And if I print it, it is saying 2 by 3. So it is kind of matrix. It is my 2 by 3 matrix, which has 2 rows. This is my first row. This is my second row. And there are 3 columns or 3 elements in each row, right? So this is my 2 by 3 matrix. Okay. Okay. Now let's understand why they are faster. Okay. So let me open a Excel and explain you a bit.
Okay, any variable which is assigned in Jupyter holds the value for the entire notebook, right? Not for the particular book.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
It is just like your PyCharm. Once you assign it, then it is for every cell applicable. Okay. So let's say you are storing a value 5. Okay. And you are storing in this list and you are also storing this in NumPy. Okay. So when you store in a NumPy, okay, it will just store. So in your system, everything is stored as a bytes, right? So 5 is stored as a byte. So 5 will be like, let's say it is a 4 byte in 32, right? It will store something like this, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0. So 1 byte will have 8 bits, right? So this is converted it to a general. Will it not show me? No.
Make it
The
text.
Text.
the text, yeah.
I can do this. Okay. So it will store like something like this: 1, 2, 3, 4, and this will be 101. Okay, this is how it will be stored 5 in your computer system because everything is stored as a bytes in a bits, right? So it is a 4 byte. So for each byte we have 8 bits, and this is how 5 will be stored in your system basically, right? Now when you store it in a list, right? When you store in a list, it has to store multiple information about it, right? First thing, it has to store the data type, right? Because every element can have different data type. So it has to store the type of this file, right? It also has to store the value, right? What is the value at this place? It also have to have reference. What do I mean by reference? I'll tell you. So reference means when you create a list, right? Let's say you created this list, 1, 2, or let's say Eclipse and Python and This is list. This is stored in a list. So now in actual, right, these Ankit, Python, Amazon are stored in your memory somewhere, right? So maybe Ankit is stored at some, let's say, memory location, some random location I'm putting 12343. Python, so it will take a block of your memory and it will put at some location in your system. Again, Amazon will be some location, right? Now, actually, in your list, when it stores, it will store the location of these Ankit, Python, Amazon. So it will store 12343, and it will store 45484 and 75854. This is how it will be stored. The reference of these objects, right? And when you check a list, it will just check what is present and 12343. It will get it and show you Ankit, Python, Amazon, right? So it has to store the all these reference values as well. So it has to store data type, data value, reference. It has to store the size of the list. So there are a lot of things which it has to store, right? And that is the reason it takes more memory. So same if you are storing a, let's say, 2 by 2 matrix and you have a list of lists, the list of list will take a lot of memory, right? And that's why it is slow. That's why list is slow. In NumPy, it doesn't have to store all this information because data type will be fixed. If it is a int array, then everything will be int. So it doesn't have to store. Okay. And it will just store the actual value. That's it. It will just store the actual value in the NumPy array. So they are very, very fast because it takes less memory. Another thing is that is one reason why NumPy arrays are much faster than list. They are faster and they have some features as well, some things that we can do in NumPy, right? That we will see. But another reason is NumPy array has contiguous memory. Okay. What does that mean? So when you store these values in list, right? It is not necessary that all these three will be together. So this object, Ankit, Python, Amazon, not necessarily they will be continuous in the memory. So let's say these are your memory blocks, right? So let me put this. Okay, these are your memory blocks. Now maybe Ankit is sitting here and you don't have anything or something else here in between, right? Let me put it clean. You have something else here and Python is here, right? And Amazon is somewhere here. Okay. Now, if you remember in list, we can append elements, right? So the thing is, it cannot be continuous. Let's say initially when I created the list, it is all continuous. Let's say, okay. Let's suppose for now, okay, it is all continuous. But let's say what you are saying after some time, on let's say 2 hours or next day, whatever, you are saying add one more element, right? You remember in list we can add element. So if my list is a list, I can say list dot append, and in that list itself, it will append one more value, right? It is not that it is creating a new list. In that list only, it is appending one more value, right? But in your system, it is not necessary. One more memory block will be there continuous to Ankit, Python, Amazon, right? You would have someone else would have using your system or you are using system for other things and some blocks would have gone. So it will, if you are adding one more string here, let's say namaste, then it can be somewhere else, right? So in the list, it is not necessary that all the elements will be continuously present in your system, in your memory block. Okay, so some elements will be here, some will be somewhere else, some will be somewhere else, and it will be storing all the information here. So it is not a contiguous memory. But in NumPy, you cannot append values as such. In the same NumPy array, you will have to create a new NumPy array if you want to append some values. But in the same NumPy array, once you create it, you cannot add more rows or columns or elements, right? In NumPy array, the memory is contiguous. Everything is stored together, right? So these are the two main things why NumPy array are faster and they are much, much faster. They are not just faster, they are much, much faster than lists. Okay. So these are two concepts
Okay, Ankit,
to understand why numpy arrays are
can you
fast.
talk
Yeah.
about the last point once again, the contagious memory point?
Yeah. So in the list, when you add elements, right, you have multiple elements. Each element need not be together in your memory, in your system, right? So let's say these are different blocks of memory in your system. And let's say when you initially created list, you have Ankit, Python, Amazon together, right? Which is fine, right? But let's say after some time you add one more element. So in list, we know we can add more element using list.append, right? Now, in your system, not necessarily that we will have a block free next to this Ankit Amazon Python. Maybe something else would have taken this block to store something else, right? Right. Now, when I do append, it will allocate memory somewhere else for this namaste. So your fourth element can be somewhere else, right? So you have these four elements as a your list element, but there can be something else in between. Again, you if you add something, maybe something else will be there and it will come here. So your memory blocks are not contiguous in case of list,
Okay,
right? But in NumPy, it will be all together.
got it.
So, Ankit, but how will we access the values in Python, Amazon, Namaste if it is not contingent, like 0, 1 index, right?
But it will store the addresses, right? I told you it doesn't store the actual values. It stores the address. So
Okay.
let's say address of this is something else. It will just add address internally in your fourth position. You don't see it, but internally it stores the address of the location.
So how to
Okay.
access Namaste value? Can you tell me like Namaste? I want that value Namaste.
Yeah, it will. So for in the front, you are just accessing Namaste 3, right? Sorry, whatever your list name. Let's say your list name is L underscore N, LN. We will just say LN. For you, it doesn't matter. You will see all together and you will just say LN and 3, right? So on the third index, the value is Namaste, right? 0, 1, 2, 3. But internally, it stores address of all of this. So your third index is this address, right? 65758. It will go to 65758 and get Namaste for you. You won't even know what is happening, but you will see your list as this in your ID, right? In your ID, your list is this. You don't see any addresses, but in the backend, it is storing the physical addresses of all these objects, right?
Hey, one quick question, Ankit. As you said, in list we can have, multiple data types, right? I mean,
Right,
string,
right,
numbers, and all. But in NumPy, we'll have homogeneous data type, right? Either
right,
string. But
right.
what I did, I just had one number and one string, and I just converted into NumPy, but it is not giving me error when I ran.
No, no, we'll come to it. We'll come to it.
Okay.
It will not give you error. So I'll come to it. But is this
Yeah.
clear? These two
Yeah.
things?
Yep. Yep.
Okay, great. Let's go back to this. So when I created this, right, to your question,
Shortcut is B, right? B. If you press B, then it will add cells below.
okay,
Yeah.
okay. B, you are saying.
Yeah, B.
Just
After
B
the
is
cell.
not good.
No, like
Press escape, then
Okay,
B.
got it, got it.
yeah.
Yeah, great. Okay, so if you see, I can give some other data type. I can mix and match, but it will then adopt the data type which suits everything. So if I do the type, so I have put some integers and some float values, right? But if I check, it will take float everything, right? Because in float, it can capture everything. If it is an integer, in integer, float will not go, right? So it will adapt to it. So if I say Ankit here and run this is saying this is a string, right? The data type is U11. U11 refers to some string, right? So if I print A, it will print A, right? But everything will be a string now. Okay.
Boolean, if we try
So
with
yeah, we
Boolean.
can put Boolean as well. So if I type true
Uh,
and so it is taking as int 32. So what it is converting it? It converted
One.
true to 1
Mm.
and false to 0. This is how it is storing.
So Ankit, what is the shape of the array that we are working on right now? Can you just check once?
Shape will be, so there are 2 rows and 3 columns, right? Sorry, it is this
Okay,
2
so
by 3.
The outer array won't have any bearing in the shape.
No, no, no. So this is inside list, whatever you are giving. So this is your array, right? So there are 2 rows, right? This is first row, this is second row, and each row has 3 elements, or you can say columns. Anything is fine. So it is 3 by 2, right? And this is
So
right
so the
2
first
by
set
3. 2
of
rows, 3 columns, 2 by 3.
sure,
Yeah.
sure. So the first rows of square, the first set of square brackets are for a list. Huh?
No, it is just a representation of array. So
Okay,
this is your full array, starting here, ending here.
got
And
it.
within that, we have 2 rows, and each row have 3 columns. That's it.
Got it. Got it. Thank you.
This is not a list, basically. This is just a representation of array.
Hey,
Okay.
one question. Okay, what could be the use case of it? We generally use list to read the data from the file and processing it. Okay, and where we will go for the array.
Yeah. So, see, lot of libraries are built on NumPy. For example, Pandas, Matplotlib, lot of machine learning libraries are built on top of NumPy. Okay. So when we go and use those library, it is important to understand how NumPy works. Okay. Another thing is it is faster. Like you said, we can do in list, but NumPy are much, much faster, as I said. Right. So if your data is huge,
Like same thing. Okay, but if I want to means whatever you have given in a project, right? We have to read one file data, and we have to do a validation on the top of that, right?
right.
Okay. For that, okay, we can go for dictionary, we can go for a list, okay, and since it can create different kind of data into the single place, okay. But
Right.
if we go for the array in that scenario, how it will behave in terms of data storage and in terms of performance, how it will do that?
Yeah, so see, it is not that you always have to use array or not use list. It depends on use case. So generally for numerical computation, if everything is numerical, we go for arrays, right? Obviously, if you have different kind of data types, then you will use list. But for numerical computation, for matrices, multiplication and algebra, and statics and all, it is much, much faster. So that's why in those cases, for that, we will use NumPy.
Okay. Yeah.
We'll
But
see. And there are other features. Whatever you have list, other than that, there are a lot of other features in NumPy we will see today. Okay.
just give it means try to give us a industry based example. Okay.
Yeah.
I am from
Yeah.
the
Sure.
database background. Okay. So I am just thinking about the file processing and all. If you have some real life example, then just tell me on that.
Sure. Sure. Okay.
Like
So let's
vector, right?
take this.
It's like a vector
Ankit,
type,
this
in
numpy
a
is a library or anything?
It's a module or library. You can say anything. Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. So let me create a two-dimensional array. So I will say 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and then I'm creating an array. We can check the size as well. So we check the data type, we check the endim, right, the dimension, and we can check the size as well. Okay, so it is saying there are 6 elements. Okay, So size you can use. Okay. So now let's go back and see our a underscore array, how it looks. So this is my 2 rows, 3 columns, right? Now, how do I access individual element, right? So for example, I want to access 2, right? So access elements in array. So I will say underscore array, and so it is like I have to give row, comma, column. Okay, this is how I have to access it, right? So I will say which row and which column. In this row, which column? So I will say, so index starts from 0, right? So I will say in the 0th row, give me first element, right? So this is my 0th row, right? Again, in Python, all the indexes everywhere it starts from 0. So this is my first row, and in that I want first element, which is 2. So if I enter this, I will get 2, right? So this is how you access individual elements in array, right? If I say 1, comma
It
2.
means, okay, Ankit, it means that if we talk about the memory representation of an array, it will create a two-dimensional matrix in a memory.
Yeah, this is a two-dimensional. You can create three-dimensional,
Yes,
four-dimensional. There is no
in
limit.
dimension
Yeah,
we can create that. For this,
yeah,
okay, means for if means we can draw as means as the two-dimensional matrix and fill the data in there, right?
right.
So if it was 3 by 3 matrix, it would have been 1 comma 2 comma 3, right?
So if it is a 3 by 3, you mean to say, no, no, no. So 3 by 3 is a dimension, or it is a two-dimensional matrix only. So I will add one more element. Let's add it. So 7, comma 8, comma 9, and let's run this. If I have to access this element 9, so I will say it is a second row and second element, right? I run this, I will get 9. So this is still a two-dimensional array. So a it is a 3 by 3 matrix, but if you see endim, it is a two-dimensional array only. Okay. When I say three-dimensional, within each list, I will have more list. So instead of 1, 2, 3, I have one more list which might have 2, 2, 3, 3 elements. Instead of, I will create and show you. Okay, three-dimensional matrix as well. Okay. Okay. So accessing individual elements, I have to do a underscore array and then put row and column. This is how I have to do. Okay. So I'll share this notebook with all of you. You can just save it in your system and open it. Okay. Okay. So this is how you have to access. Now, just like
Ankit, okay,
list,
here first we are creating list and then we are converting that list to array, right?
right? We can directly also create. I will show you some other ways of creating arrays. Okay.
Yeah, because that
But we
will
can convert list to arrays.
yes, we can convert, but it will in the term of programming it will add additional time, right? We are creating a list and then creating an array.
Yeah. So sometimes you already have list, you want to convert it into array. In that case, you can do is otherwise we can
Yes.
directly also create it. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Now the negative index also works. So if I say -1, so it will go to the second row, which is 7, 8, 9. Let me do this. Just 7, 8, 9, and then -1 is 9. So again, it will give you the same thing, 9, right? So we can have negative indexing similar to how we did in list, right? Now we can do the slicing as well. So I will say,
Ankit, can we create numpy array directly without creating a list?
yes, yes, I will show you. I'll show you. Okay. So I will say, let's say I want second row all the elements. Okay. So I can say colon, right? Colon means I want second row and all the columns in that. So if I do this, it returns the array, 1D array 7, 8, 9, right? Similarly, I can have all the rows and particular column. So I can say colon 1. So it is giving me 258 this. So this is the second column. So from each row, it is picking the second column, index 1, and giving me 258. Right? You can do even more slicing. So for example, you can say from the row, give me 0 to 2. So it will give me 0th and first index. Last one it doesn't give, right? Always. And then here also I can say give me 1, 2, 3, right? So second column and third column. So if I do this, it is giving me 2, 5, right? 2, 5 means it is first row and second row, 0 to 2. The second row it will not give, it will give 0th row and first row, right? And within that, it will give me these two. So I'm getting this chunk, 2, 3, 5, 6, this one, right? So this results in another matrix, 2 by 2 matrix, right? So you can, whatever we applied to list can be applied here as well, but here we have to have two values. We can pass two values, one for row and another one for column, or comma separated. Okay, so this is about it. Now let's say I want to change the value of something, right? So
Ankit, can you explain that output once again? Last
this
one.
one,
Yes. Yes.
yeah. So first one represents rows, right? So you are saying give me rows from index 0 to 2. But the last index doesn't come in Python. You have seen in list as well. So it will give me row index 0 and 1, right? So index 0 is this, right? Index 1 is this. So I will get these two rows. This much is clear?
Yes. Yes.
Okay. Now within that, what I'm saying, I need columns from 1 to 3. So it will not give index 3. It will give index 1 and 2. So this is my index 1, right? This is 0 index. This is index 1 and this is index 2. So 1 and 2 it is giving. So I will end up with 2, 3, 5, 6.
Okay, Ankit, thank you.
Right? Yeah. Okay. Now let's say I want to assign a value or change a value, right? So let's say I want to change the value of particular index. So let's say I want to change it. So whatever you want to change, you can just check. Okay, I want to change 9, but just verify what is it right? Yeah, A array 2 is 9. Now instead of 9, I want 11. So you can just do this. You say whatever value is that index, place 11 here, right? So instead of 9, you will have 11. So you see, we have 11 here. Okay. Now, let's say you want to change like this. So you want to replace this part. You want to give us a completely new value to this matrix 2536. Instead of 2536, you want something else. So again, you have to just check what is the value here. It is 2536. Now I want to replace it with something else. So make sure you have to provide values in this form only. So you will say, let's say 9, comma 10, and then let's say 8, comma 6. Okay. And if I run this and print it again, see, it become 9, 10, 8, 6, right? So instead of 2, 3, 5, 6, it became 9, 10, 8, 6, right? So if you want to replace anything, overwrite anything, you just have to make sure that whatever assignment you are doing is matching with whatever indexing you are doing, right? So just do this indexing, right? See what is there, and the same kind of structure you have to pass to overwrite it, right? So this is how you can do overwriting, right? Okay, let's see how we can do a 3D array. Okay, so let me copy this. Okay, and let's keep 2 for now. And now what I'm going to do, let's keep two elements only for now. Okay. And we copy this again. Okay. So this is my array. A underscore array. Right. So this is currently, if you check the shape, it will be, or it will, you check the dimension, it is 2-dimension array. Now what I'm going to do, I'm going to create more list within list. So I will say, instead of 1, 2, I'm saying 1, 2, and let's say I'm saying 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay. So this is list within list within list, right? And if I just run this now, you see this shows a 3-dimensional array, right? This is a 3-dimensional array. Now, if I check the shape, it is 2 by 2 by 2, right? So let's see how it looks, then we will understand. So let's keep it as it is. Okay. So if you see, this is my 3-dimensional array, 2 by 2 by 2. So this is my full array, right? Within that, I have 2 elements. This is first element and this is second element, right? So this is your first row. Then within that, you have 2 rows in both of them. That is your second row, 2. 2 by 2 by 2. And each one have 2 columns, right? So this becomes your 3-dimensional matrix, right? So now if you have to access the elements in the 3-dimensional axis. Let's see how you will access. You will say A array, right? And then I want from the first element, right? Let's say first row and then first element. Let's see what will come. What do you think? Any guesses?
1,
1.
1.
1 will come, right? If I do it, let's say 1, what will come now? 1, 1, 0.
4,
7.
So it will go to the first element, which is first index is this one, right? Within that first row and then 0th element. So it will be 7. Right? So again, you can create any number of dimensions. This is just third dimension. The more you go, it becomes crazy to visualize, right? So you can create 3-dimensional, 4-dimensional, how much ever you want to go inside, you can go. Again, right?
Ankit, any better way to view that this particular array so that it becomes easier to read?
This is the best way it is, it is coming in your Jupyter notebook. You can visualize it, right? This is the first element of your 3D array. You will not be working with more than, generally we will be working with 2D arrays only, because we will have data in rows and columns 90% of the time. But for if you are doing some machine learning kind of things, right, that time you might need this 3-dimensional, 4-dimensional arrays. And there are some libraries where you can visualize things. But for now, I think we mostly be working with 2-dimensional array, but you can visualize in the Jupyter notebook. I think it is good enough to understand how it works.
All the elements like should have the same shape dimension. Like 2D array can be made in 3D array.
2D array can be made 3D array. I didn't get you.
Like the first example, right? So in that all the element is of same dimension, right? So if
So you are saying if I give this, right?
yeah, so one
It will give you array. It has to be of same. It should fit. Yeah. It will not work.
Okay.
Ankit,
Ankit, can you please explain the output of 110?
Yeah.
Once again?
Sure. So this is my array, right?
Yeah.
Right. So what I'm saying, so first one is the element. So this is my first element, right? 0th index basically.
Yeah.
Right. This is first index. So when I say 1, I'm picking up this one, this array.
Right.
Right.
Yeah.
Now within this, I want first row. So this is my 0th row. This is first index, right?
Right. Okay.
In that, this is a kind of list, and I want 0th again.
Okay.
Right.
Inside that, we are again dividing that 0th row and 0th index. I mean 0th row and 1st first row.
Yeah, first row and 0th column.
Column. Right.
Yeah.
Okay. Got it. Thank you.
Ankit, can't we use this numpy module in PyCharm?
We can use it. Why not?
Okay.
It is just to explain things. It is good. It just come, but you can absolutely use it in PyCharm, right? Also, I
Okay, that's
wanted to give a feel of both of the things, at least two, because for a lot of data analysis, people generally use Jupyter Notebook. The charts and all comes out well. But
Okay.
it is your preference. Nothing as you have to use Jupyter Notebook. If you are comfortable with PyCharm, you can do in PyCharm.
Hmm.
Everything what we have learned in PyCharm will work in Jupyter Notebook, and whatever we are doing Jupyter Notebook will work in PyCharm. It is just different IDs, and backend it is all Python.
Okay. Hmm.
Okay.
Ankit,
Okay.
every time we need to click a plus button for the new cell or any shortcut is
You
there?
can just press B. You just come out of cell, just press somewhere outside your
Skip.
cursor and just press B. Or you can just press escape
Okay.
and then B. It will create a new cell. Okay.
Ankit, can you explain the structure of three-dimensional array once again?
So how we created, is this clear? So this is my list within list within list, right?
Yes.
And this is my three-dimensional array. Three-dimensional means, so you have first element as a 2D array, second element at another 2D array, right?
Okay.
Right. So this is the first
Yes.
element represented by first indices that you pass. So you
Okay.
pass 1, so it is taking this element. Now this is a 2D array, right? In this, if I have to access 7, how you will access 1, comma 0, right? In this 2D
Yes.
array, how you will access 7, 1, comma 0, right?
Yes.
So I'm passing 1, comma 0. So I'm going to that array first using first indices, and then I'm passing whatever I have to get accordingly.
Okay. Okay.
Okay.
Fine.
Great.
If we put colon
Now let's say
after
how we
zero,
can initiate. Sorry.
if we put colon after zero in that
Yeah.
first statement, so will it print 7 and 8 both?
Yeah. Yeah. It will print. You can play with it. You can
Okay.
play with it. It just works same. It is just 3 dimensions. Otherwise, all slicing and everything will work.
Okay. Thank you.
Okay. So far we have been creating, from list arrays, but there are some ways to create arrays directly, right? So I can say, so let's say a underscore array. Let me put np dot zeros, right? So what it will do, it will create an array of zeros. It will have all the zeros, and later you can, assign values if you want, but you have to give the size. So what I'm saying, create an array, right? Create an array of all the zeros and size should be 5. So if I run this, you see it is all 0, 0, 0. Okay. So by default it is coming as decimal, but also you can pass when you are creating an array above all. So when you are creating from list, we can pass the D type as well. So for example, if I want in 32, I can put in 32. So it will be of type in 32. You can pass in 64. Right? So it will be of type in 64, data type in 64, right? So you can pass this d type variable when you are creating array. Along with list also we can use it. So when I'm creating here this array, I can just pass d type equal to in 32. Okay, and this was. Okay. So this argument you can pass. So if you see, I said give me a array, one dimensional array with 5 elements, right? And the data type should be in 64, right? Now this is one thing, but I want some more shape, right? I want 2 by 3, 4 by 6, those kinds of array. So I can pass that dimensions. I want, let's say 3 by 3, or let's say 3 by 2 array, right? Data type should be in 32. Okay, so if I do this, sorry, I think something is
34.
Oh, sorry. So this is 3 by 2 matrix, 3 rows, 2 columns. I can create 2 by 3. So whatever dimension I pass, it will create an array and everything will be 0, right? Similar to zeros, we have ones as well. So I can create
So the first index represent a row, right?
right.
Okay.
First represents the row and second represents the column.
Okay.
Okay. So I can just do that. Now it is all 1 1 1. Right. Now let's say you want to create with particular element. Let's say you want an array of 5, right? So we have another function. So I will say np dot full. Okay. So this is how you have to pass np dot full, and then what you have to pass is you have to pass the size, obviously 2 by 3. But now let's say I want all the elements as 99, right? So I'll say 99. See, everything is 99. Using this, I can use any number. So I can say 10. So everything will be 10. Okay. So you have zeros, you have ones, or if you want particular number, you can use np dot full, pass the shape, what shape you want, and what number you want in that, and it will create a array for you. Okay.
So Ankit, just at a high level, from a CSV file, if we import some rows and columns, can we define it like that, like dot full number of rows and then
Sorry, from where you do?
from a CSV, if we import few
Yeah.
columns?
I will show you. I'll show you.
Here,
We
Ankit,
can import from file as well.
can get two questions.
Mm-hmm.
The first question is that in the NP zeros example,
Mm-hmm.
if I say 3, 2, 3, will that give me a multi-dimensional array?
Definitely. Why not? Let me do in this only, right? It is creating a 3 dimensional array.
Cool. And my second question is that in the NP dot full example, can we specify the data type?
I think we should be. Let's see. D type equal to 32.
Seems to be.
Yeah, it's working.
Cool. Thank you so much.
Yeah. Okay. So this is how you can, create arrays, right? By using ones, full, all these kinds of, right? There are some other methods. There are a lot of methods you can read about that. Let's say you want to create a array of decimals, some random values. So let's create this array of decimal values, random decimal values, right? So I can say a underscore array equal to, and I will say np dot random dot rand, and then I can pass the structure. And let's see. You see, it created a random array of random decimal numbers, right? It is a 2 by 3 matrix, and it is giving you some random decimal numbers, right? So there are other functions. I will share the documentation, and you can create a random array of integers, decimals, and a lot of other things you can do. But there are bunch of ways to initialize your array. If you want to create a initializer array, you can do it, but with different methods. Okay. There's a method of identity as well. So for example, I can say array of identity matrix, right? So identity matrix means diagonally all the elements will be 1, right? So I will say np dot identity, let's say 5. And if I print this, you see it created a identity matrix, right? Of size 5, and you have 1 1 1 1 1, right? So in identity matrix, you have to just pass one element 5. It will create 5 by 5 matrix, and the diagonal, all the diagonal will be 1. So this is also called identity matrix, right? It is used for matrix multiplication and a lot of things. So you can create an identity matrix, right? So likewise, there are many other way to initialize your numpy array. Okay. Now if you remember,
Ankit, random dot rand is a method, huh?
okay, so let's take what is my type. We haven't seen the type of our array, what it says. Like always, we have checked the type of integer. It says class integer. Let's say what is type of our array, right? So it says numpy.nd array. So if you have attended the class and objects wala session, we have a module numpy. Within numpy module, we have a class called nd array, right? So this array is an object of this nd array class, right? Now within that class, we will have a different methods, right? So identity will be one of the method. Okay. You guys are able to connect with the classes and objects now. So numpy is a module. Basically, the Python files we created is a module, right? When I import it somewhere else, I have to give the Python file name. So similarly, numpy is a module, and I said import numpy as np, right? So it is imported as a module. Now within this module, there is a class called nd array, right? So when I'm creating a object of this class, right? It is an object of class nd array. All my array is an object of class nd array, and then within this class, we will have all these methods, identity, or whatever we have used so far,
Ankit,
zeros.
some background noise are
Yeah,
coming.
someone has to go to on mute.
Guys, please go on mute. Mute all. Okay. Okay. So this is another way of doing, I mean, creating an identity matrix. Okay. So let me print again. Again, if you want, you can pass the data type. That is, in all of that, you can pass the data type. Okay. Now, if you remember in list, when we copy a list, right, it
Ankit,
takes a reference. Yeah.
Ankit, when you are using the random 2, 3, so will it always take the decimal as 8? After
Decimal as
decimal,
8.
so after decimal, it will always take the digits place as 8-digit decimal, right?
By default, it is
0.5 to
taken, but I think there should be some somewhere some arguments you can pass to change that. I think that should be there. By default, it
okay.
is taking 8 decimals. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Now, if you remember, we
And then
discussed in the
also,
list.
in the identity matrix, why do we have dot after every value?
Yeah, so it is taking as decimal. You can pass data type, but by default, it is taking as a decimal value. Okay. You can pass in, then it is in.
Ankit, can we create like an array based on the user input? So,
Based on the user input, what do you mean by that?
like here you are entering the values prior, right? So actually, like if you like using the input function, is it possible? Like, can you
Yeah. So what you can do, you can initialize with zeros, right? Let's say you want a 3 by 5 matrix, right? You will initialize with 0, right? So you will get a matrix of all 0 0 0. Now you will take from user that at what position what you want, and then you can using replace, you can replace all the elements, right? That is how you can create a numpy array as per user input. Create with 0 0, initialize with 0 0, and then put wherever whatever you want to put, you can put.
Okay, got it. Thank you.
Okay. Now, if you remember with the list, we had a problem with copy. So let me take one array, or let me create this one. So this is my array, let's say 3 by 3. Okay. Now what I'm going to do, I will create one more array. 1 equal to, okay, this is fine. And if I check array 1, okay, so this is my array 1 and my A array and array 1 are same now. Now what I'm going to do, I will say 0 comma 0, make it 9. Okay, so this is 9. Now look at both the arrays. So A underscore array 1, right? So this is 9. And what will be the value of A underscore array?
Same.
9.
Still be
Same.
1.
It is also 9.
Same as well.
So if you remember list, same issue happened in list. So when I say array 1 equal to array, it is not creating the copy of this array. It is just this variable also pointing to the same location where A array is there, right? So let's say the location of A array is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 in your system, physical location. So A array 1 also contains the location, that physical location 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It is not copying the array. It is just giving the reference, that whatever reference of this, give it to this. So if you make any change to this, it will reflect in this, or if you make any change to this, it will reflect in this. If you want to create a true copy, then you have to say dot copy, same as we did in list, right? So if I run this again, so see, now your A array is 1, 1, 1, 1 and your A array 1 is has 9, right? So if you want to create a copy, just A array dot copy, right? Otherwise, it is just you are giving a reference to another variable, right? Whatever the physical address of this, here also the physical address of that location is there. So always use dot copy if you want to copy it. Okay, great.
But deep Kalash, that like uh, uh, deep copy and the what was the other one? Shallow copy, yeah.
Shallow.
Okay. So is it like same here or
Yeah,
different?
it is same. So when you are doing copy, it is a shallow copy. You have to use that deep copy something to make a deep copy. Okay, by default, copy is a shallow copy. Okay, the same concept of list you can apply here. Okay, you can explore it later. Let's do some mathematics on numpy now. Okay, so let's take this again, and we have an array. Okay, now what I want to do, I want to add 2. I want to add 2 to all the elements of array. So I will say n p array plus 2. If you see, everything is added. Let me do this. Plus 2. If you see, it added 2, 2, 2 to each element. When I say array plus 2, it is adding 2 elements to all the values of array. Now it is just a output. So A array will still look same, right? So if you want to assign this value back to A array, you have to assign. So you will say this, right? Now your A array will be the new value. Otherwise, right? So it ran twice. So first I ran A array plus 2, and then again I am running. So it is adding 2 times for array. Okay, let me run this again. And now if you see, it is adding 2 values to each element. Right? You can do multiply 2 also. So I do into 2, run this again. So it is multiplying by 2. So 2 1 are 2, 2 0 0, and like this. Okay. And let's say I want to do, let me do plus 2 separately. Array plus 2, array into 2. Okay. Okay. Now, again, you can do divide by 2, minus 2, anything you can do, right? Now let's say you have two matrices, right? So let me create one more matrices. So we have one, and I will create add two. And let me create a matrices of not identity. Let me create full and 3 comma 2, and then I have to pass, let's say 9, right? Let's see if this is fine. No. What is the error here? Okay, I have to pass this.
Bracket is missing here.
Okay, fine. And let me create one more. Add 2, and this is of, let's say 5. Okay. So we have two matrices now, one of air 1 and one air 2. One is of 9 and one is of 5. Now what I can do matrix addition as well. So if I print array 1, print array 2. So these are my two matrices, right? One is 999. Let me make 2 by 3. 2 by 3. 2 by 3. Okay. So this is my first matrix, 2 by 3, and this is 2 by 3. Now if I do add a array 1 plus 2, it will just add and give me, right? If you see, first element of this and first element of this will be added. 9 5 14, 9 5 14, 9 5 14. So it will just, the same index values, it will just add up, right? Now if the structure of my this is not same, what will happen? Let's say I'm creating one is 2 by 3, another is 2 by 4, and I try to add it. What will happen?
Error. Give error.
It will give me error, right? So if I'm adding it, the dimension should be same. Okay. So you can do anything again. You can do multiplication as well. So it will just multiply 9 5 is 45. You can add division, whatever you want. All the mathematical operations you can do between the two arrays. Okay. Now you can do trigonometry as well. So example, you will say, let's say this is my array. Let me take the identity matrix.
Ankit, what are the use case of this? Where we will exactly use this?
With this one?
Yeah, correct.
So see, this is like a linear algebra, right? If you have in algebra, you do matrix multiplication, a lot of things, right? For the data analysis, to be honest, we will be using pandas mostly, right? But if you want to pursue some other field, right, and numpy can be used. Or sometimes what happens, you have a lot of data, right, and pandas might be slow. In that case, you can use numpy array. But 90% of the time, we will be using pandas only for all the data analysis, because those are more intuitive. Those are column names. You can filter value based on something, right? But it is important to understand NumPy, because many libraries that we will use are built on top of NumPy, right? It is like we understand class and objects, and then we are using everything else, so it makes sense, right? So it is equally important to understand NumPy. But in your day-to-day life, you will be mostly using pandas.
Okay. And mostly we use in NumPy also 2D dimensional, right? Only row and
Right,
column.
mostly
If you work with
two-dimensional,
the
because
data
we
analysis.
have all the data we have in row and column structure, which is 2 by 2, right? I mean
Okay.
2-dimensional, not 2 by 2. It is 2-dimensional. Row and column is 2-dimensional. Yeah.
Okay, thanks.
Yeah. Okay. So yeah, I was doing some trigonometry. So I can say this, and then I can say np dot sign, and I pass my array, right? So it is giving me the sign, like the one we are passing, sign 0, sign 1, whatever we pass, it will give me sign of that, right? Sine, cos, tan,
Angle, right?
Each
It is giving
element,
the
it will
angle.
give you the sine cos value. Sorry?
Uh, uh, this value, so it is giving the angle, right, of that value.
Yeah. So it is like cos 1, right? So what is my A array? This is 1. So this is giving me cos 1. Cos 0 is 1. So what you angle you pass, I'm passing just this 1 in that angle. So cos 1 is 0.54, cos 0 is 1.
Okay.
So cos of every element it is giving me. Okay. You can give np dot 10 or everything you can do. Okay. Let's do some statics. We let's do statistics. So let me create some manually now this time. Let's copy this. Okay. So this is my array now. Okay. Now what I want to do, I want to find the minimum, right? Minimum. So I have all the elements. I want to find the minimum. What is the minimum value in my numpy array, right? So I will say np dot minimum and I will pass a array, right? So this will give me minimum is 1, right? I can do it similarly max, right? I can find mean. It is giving me mean, right? So you can do all these things. Also, what you can do when you are taking, let's say, minimum, okay, you can pass the axis as well. So for example, I will say x is equal to 0. You can pass x is equal to 0 or x is equal to 1. What will happen when you pass x is equal to 0, for each column, it will give you the minimum value. So this is x is 0 means column, x is 1 means row. So when you say x is equal to 0, so for each column, it is checking what is the minimum value, right? So in 147, 1 is minimum. 258, 2 is minimum. 369, 3 is minimum, right? If I give row wise, what will be the output? Can someone tell me?
147.
147.
Yes, 147.
It will be
It is
147.
147. So it is doing row wise. 1, 4, 7. Again, you can do it for minimum, maximum, or whatever you want. Right? You can do sum as well. So you can say np dot sum. Again, if you want, you can give access. If you don't give access, it will just sum everything, or you can just say access equal to 1. So it will do row by sum. 6, 5, 14. 1 plus 2 plus 3 is 6. 5 plus 4 plus 6 is 15. And then this is 20. Right? So you can do all this static things. So again, I can share the documentation. It has all the statistical function, standard deviation, and whatever, in statics we use, all those you can find using this numpy functions, numpy methods. Okay. Okay, great. Now, what also we can do, we can also rearrange the array. So rearrange, whatever. Okay. So let's say I have this matrix. Okay. And let's do this. Okay. So this is currently my 3 by 3 matrix, right? 3 rows, 3 columns. So total 9 elements. What also I can do, I can say a array dot reshape. Okay. So I want to reshape it, and I want what? I want, let's say, 1 by 9 matrix. Okay. If I do this, you see it rearranged it and created a 1 by 9 matrix. Right? I can do 9 by 1. So it is a 9 rows, 1 column. So you have to make sure when you are reshaping it, the size should be same. So it is 3 by 3, 9 elements. So you have to do in a way that reshape also give you 9 elements. If I do 9 by 2, it will give me error, right? Cannot reshape array of size 9 into shape 9 2 because it has to be 18 then in that case, right? So when you are reshaping, make sure you, so for example, let's change it to 3 by 2. Okay. And then I will change it to 2 by 3, right? You see, 3 by 2 is 3 columns. Sorry, 2 by 3 is this. It is 2 by 3 only. So I will convert it to 3 by 2 now. It converted into 3 by 2. Okay. So you can also reshape your matrices. Okay.
Ankit, you can
Now,
also reshape using negative like -1. You can only pass one. You have to pass one argument along with minus some statement like 3 minus 1. It will create 3 by 2 shape. Like yes, -1.
okay. 3 by 2. Minus
Yeah.
1 is working. I
Yeah,
don't
-1 will.
understand how it's.
You have to pass only one argument, like you rows or column. It should be like compatible. No, it won't work. It won't work. Like in rows, you can pass -1, and you have to pass
Mhm.
3 in columns. That will work.
Okay. Okay. But how it is working, I don't understand. Okay. It will automatically take whatever
Yeah,
is
it will.
there. Okay.
It will automatically fetch the
Okay,
values.
okay, okay, okay. So if you are just want to pass 3 and let Python decide how many columns should be there, you can give
Yeah,
-1. Got it.
Python
Yeah.
will decide on it.
Okay, okay, okay. Thanks for that. Yeah. Okay, great. Okay, so this is all about reshaping. Let's move if we want to, do a horizontal or vertical stacking. So for example, we created two matrices somewhere, right? Yeah, let's create this. So I have two matrices, right? One is let's create of same size 2 by 3, 2 by 3. Or we can, okay, we'll see. Okay, so we have two A array 1, A array 2. So I'll just add print of these two to see how they looks. Okay, so we have 999, 555. Now what I want to do, I want to stack them basically vertically and horizontally. So basically, I want a new matrix or new array which should have 4 rows, combining these two, right? Merging them, kind of. So I will say np dot v stack, and then I will pass both the matrices. So I will say uh, AR1, comma, AR. Okay. So if I do that, you see a new matrix is created, which is vertically stacking these two matrices. If I do edge stack, it will do horizontal stacking. If I do edge stack, it will do horizontal stacking, right? 999, 555, and then 999, 5, right? Stacking multiple arrays, right? And it is not just two, you can pass multiple arrays here. I pass just two, but you can pass 3, 4, 5, how many ever you want, it will just stack it. Okay, great. Let's move on to, let's say now I want to read from a file. I want to create a array from a file. Okay, create array from file. So I have created one file. This is read np. Okay, so this is my file, right? Let's read this. So file name is readnp.txt and the delimiter is comma. Okay, so let's do this. So I will say let this file equal to np dot generate from txt. Okay, generate from txt, and then I will pass the file name. So file name is what? Readnp. I will pass readnp.txt. Now here I have to pass the delimiter as well. That what is the delimiter? right? So delimiter is comma. Okay. So let's see how f looks like. So if you see, f looks like this, right? And this is my file. It's starting 1, 2, 3, 42, 50 and going till 21. And if I go here, it is same thing going till 21, right? And I think we can pass d type. No, we cannot pass, I think, here. Okay, let me try. D type equal to int 32. Okay, it's working. Perfect. Okay, so I can pass data type. I want int. So it creates a array reading from the file, right? Generate from text. And if you have some other delimiter like tab delimited, colon delimited, or let's say it is XX delimited, so you can pass XX and it will just take that. Okay. Once it is there, then whatever we have learned above, all of this can be applied to that array because this is a numpy array now.
Okay,
What
what
if you
is
want to
the
read
difference
from
between
Excel?
int32 and int64?
Int32 is 4 bytes and 64 is 8 bytes. So it is in SQL, but it is int and big int.
Correct.
In
So
32 is int and in 64 is it can have bigger value in
correct.
64.
So if we have say 5 6 digit numbers, then we will go with int64.
No, so there is a range. So you can just Google the range of int32, it will give you.
Got it.
Till that number you can store.
Sure.
Yes. Okay.
Ankit, is there anything if you wish to read from Excel, like not using pandas in NumPy, like gen from text? You have using especially mentioned the text, right?
Yeah, it is from text. Not sure that we can read from Excel. I have to figure out, but it is from text.
Okay.
But in text, you can have any delimiter.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Let me cover the last part and then we can go for doubts if anyone has. Okay. We have only 3 minutes. So there's some advanced indexing is there something. That's okay. So I can do indexing based on some condition. Okay. So let's say this is my f is my array now, right? I will say f less than 20. I'll just say this. Okay. And run this. You see, it is returning some Boolean value. True, true, false. What does that mean? It means wherever it is less than 20, it is returning true, right? You see, wherever it is less than 20, it is returning true. Wherever it is greater than 20, so 50, 42, on those indexes, it is returning false, right? So basically, it is checking this condition for each element and returning true and false based on that, right? Now, I can use that to filter, right? So if I say f and put this condition, okay, so what it will do, it will return you only the elements where the condition is true. Okay, so if I run this, it is giving me only the elements, right? All the elements in a 1D array, right? And all those values which satisfies this condition. So all the values you see greater than less than 20 are coming. If I say greater than 20, it will give me all the values greater than 20. Right? You can even give conditions with and or. So you can say f greater than 20 and using this and, not this, and you give one more condition. F less than let's say 50. Okay, so it will give me everything between 20 and 50, right? This is AND condition. So it should be greater than 20 and less than 50, right? So see, it is giving me all the values between 20 and 50, right? You can even do OR. OR is using the pipe. If you give pipe, it is a OR condition. So anything greater than 20 or anything less than 50, it will give all those values. This is AND condition, this is OR condition. Basically, it is generating another matrix of Boolean values, true and false, and wherever it is true, it is returning those elements.
Ankit, instead of using ampersand, could you please use and, right? And
I don't think it works. Let's check. I'm not sure. No, it doesn't work.
Why is this?
This is how it is. There's no why. This is how programming is designed. Even in pandas, it is like this.
Ankit, can you explain
I
this
think in
or one?
pandas we can use and, I guess.
Yes, yes. In pandas, we can use and
Okay.
or.
But
And
pandas work with these operators as well. Maybe with and also it works. Yeah.
But sometimes I don't know why results may differ. Like sometimes it may generate the correct answers, like correct right output, and sometimes it does not. I don't know why.
No, so here you can't pass. Basically, it is not about right or wrong, but this is a wrong syntax, basically. Right?
Earlier we are using the R in Python. Okay. So R and
That is the condition, if else condition. But this is in the numpy you are doing.
okay.
Yeah. So this is the syntax. You have to live with this. We can't do much. This is how it is designed.
Okay, and Ankit, we understood.
Yeah.
Ankit, can you explain this or once again?
Yeah. We are done with today's topic. So if anyone wants to leave, they can leave. Absolutely fine. Yeah. Go ahead with your question again.
Can you explain this or condition once?
All condition is either one of the conditions should be true. Right?
Okay.
So if this is true or this is true, give me all those elements. In AND, it should satisfy both. So I'm saying it should be greater than 20 and this both conditions should satisfy, then only those elements will come. In this, if any one of the conditions satisfied, it will give you.
Yeah, okay. I
it will
understand.
take everything, right?
All
Yeah.
the numbers.
In this it is take everything because anything will be either greater than 20 or less than 50, obviously.
Yeah, okay, got it.
Any number in the world will
numbers
satisfy.
at a time. It's confusing.
Yeah, Ankit, in the starting of the session, you have mentioned that to install this Jupyter notebook, right? I am trying the same thing using this pip command, pip install Jupyter notebook, but it is showing like pip is not recognized as an internal external command.
Yeah, so you have not added that path. So you are doing in the CMD, right?
Yeah, CMD only, yeah.
Yeah, so what you have not done is you have to go to the environment variables. Yours is Windows or this one, Mac?
Windows only.
Environment variables, go to path. I think in that I mentioned already when you have installed PyCharm, right? Add it, and you have to add the path of your installables, Python installables. Once you do that, then you will be able to do it. So what happens when you run anything on command line, right? So whatever command you run, that should be present in either of the path, whatever is there in the environment variables, right? So it will check in this path if any executable of name pip is there, right? If you have not added, it will not find it. The moment you add it, it will look into this path as well. So within scripts, you have a pip module. Once you add here, your command line Windows will check the pip module in this path also. And once it finds out, it will do installation for you. So you just have to add this in your environment variable in path.
Okay.
And then it will work.
And then can you share those pip command? I'm also getting some errors.
Yeah, these are two commands. I'll just share.
Okay. Can you share now? I'm trying.
Yeah, I'll just put it.
Ankit, from Wednesday, will we be having pandas? Sorry, from Thursday. From Thursday, will we be having pandas?
Sorry, I'm not able to hear you. Can you be a little loud?
Yeah, from Thursday, will we be covering pandas?
Yeah, from Thursday we will start pandas. Yeah, we are done with the numpy, and then we will look into pandas, and pandas will go at least 2-3 classes. We have a lot to cover.
Loop can we use here in the numpy array loops? Like
basically, if you see, you can do, you know, what I say, all the vector calculations vector operations you are able to do, right? If you want to do square of it, you don't have to do looping here. Not required, but there will be one way of looping. You can convert it into list, back to list, and loop over the list, right?
So this
directly on array
two dimension will be
exactly.
converted Okay.
Yeah, it will
Sorry,
be
sir.
converted to back to list. Right, we can do that.
If we
Okay,
have to
so
perform any operations, in that case, on the arrays, two arrays. So in that case, we have to. It is required to have the dimensions of the arrays to be same.
So it depends, right? If you are adding two arrays, concatenating like V stack, horizontal stack, right?
Okay.
So there are two kinds of calculation, right? One is, so this is your f, right? And you are just adding plus two. So it is just one array. You don't need second array in this, right?
Right.
It will just do plus two. Now let's say you want to add two arrays, right?
Yeah.
So in that case, dimension should be same, because what it will do, it will pick the 0 0 0 of first index and 0 0 of second array and add it. So in that case, the dimension should be same.
Right. Got it. So in
Yeah.
that case, like any operations between two arrays, if we are performing any operations, the dimensions need to be same.
Yeah. If we are doing adding, subtraction, division, anything,
Yeah.
we have to have the same structure,
Right.
the same shape.
Hello, Ankit, can you please tell once again that where to add that path?
You just type environment variables.
Okay.
It will come added system environment variables, right?
Uh-huh.
Then go to environment variables again. And here in the system variables, there will be a system variable path.
Okay.
Add it and add something at the end.
Okay.
New. You click on new and then pass.
The one which is showing in the command prompt. That path we need to add here, right?
Wherever your Python executables are. So mine are at this location, this app data local programs, Python 311 scripts. You have to check yours.
Yeah, but actually when I'm installing at that time, it's saying that actually path is not
defined.
You just have to add your installable path. That's it. Nothing
okay,
much.
which is not on path. That is what I'm getting.
No. You have to get it from your system. You have to see where you have installed Python.
Okay.
C drive, it will be there.
Okay.
Inside the C drive.
Yeah, I can understand, but actually I was a little bit confused which path do I need to add.
Okay. You have to add that.
If you have Excel file, if you have data in the Excel file, what delimiter can we use?
So let me check. Read from Excel to numpy. I have not tried this. Use the pandas library. Yeah, we will have to use pandas. Using this, we cannot do.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, Angit, I'm able to install Jupyter Notebook by using pip install Jupyter Notebook. But after that, we need to give the command for opening the Jupyter Notebook, right? Jupyter Notebook. So while I'm giving that command, it is giving Jupyter Notebook is not recognized as internal or external command.
So can you try some other variations? Jupyter Space Notebook.
Okay.
Not sure. Some versions have different. Previously, I have seen Jupyter Space Notebook. This time when I installed it is Jupyter Hyper Notebook.
Yeah, even Jupyter Space Notebook is also giving the same error. Jupyter.
Okay, so you can just see where it is installed and you should be able to see. So for example, if I go to my installables, which is or let me do this, Python. If you see here, scripts, okay, so you see in my scripts, this Jupyter hyphen notebook is there. You can just see what is there for you.
Okay.
Or wherever it has installed. For me, it is installed in scripts folder itself. You might have in the lib folder as well. Your Jupyter installation.
Okay, so then we need to add this path to the env variable.
Yeah, wherever it is there, you have to add that to the path. So this path is added, and that's why I'm able to directly run this Jupyter hyphen node.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah. Okay.
Ankit, I have one more doubt. Not from this pandas map and lambda function. Can you please explain once? Because it is asked in many interviews and all.
In the pandas point of view, you are saying?
No, no, just for randomly map
Okay.
and lambda function, how it works.
Okay. I will cover in some other session. Okay.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah. Maybe during doubt session or some other session, I will cover it.
Okay.
Okay.
Ankit, in advanced indexing, there is f is greater than 20 and or f is less than 50. Still, it is showing the elements greater than 50. So why that?
Yeah. Greater than 20 is it satisfies greater than 20, right?
Okay, okay, okay. So either
Basically,
of the
this condition
conditions.
will satisfy everything. This is
Okay.
not a right condition to show
Uh,
because any number either will be greater than 20 or less than 50, right?
yeah.
Yeah.
So if we are just taking the first condition of AND, so in that case, it will not show all the elements, right? Will you please
Yes.
comment the last one and show the output for the?
Yeah. Yeah. It is just showing those three elements.
Okay, okay, okay.
So,
Okay, got it.
Ankit, will you be covering regular expressions?
Regular expression is not of this actually, but I can share
Hello.
some resources. Okay.
Hello. Hi, Ankit.
Yeah. Go ahead.
So, will you be covering regular expressions and lambda functions?
Lambda I can cover, it's a small part, but regular expression is itself a big topic. So regular expressions we are not covering, but I can share some resources.
Yeah, okay. Because sometimes we need to figure out the extra spaces and special characters, right? If you wanted to
Yeah.
filter it out, so we'll be using
Mhm.
regular expressions. Yeah. So if
I can share
possible,
some
could you
good
please?
resources. Yeah.
Yeah. Thanks.
Ankit, can you scroll a little bit up?
Yeah.
Where did you created the text file for reading the? Where did you
Here
created
it
the
is.
delimiter? Yeah, where did you created the text read np.txt? Like in which directory?
Okay. Again, it is in the same directory where my script is. So
Okay.
okay. So but you can give some other path and you can pass the path here, which is fine.
Okay. And one more
You can
doubt
start.
regarding project. I created my project in like the C drive and all, and after some time I thought it's messy, so I just copied that entire folder onto my desktop. And when I'm trying to run my project, it's saying read permission as a not allowed when I'm trying to open with F open. Does it happen sometime in the projects? Like you need to create your projects in the C drive itself, or can I copy my folder on the desktop?
No. I think
Some
that time you
permissions
have
are
opened the
denied.
Excel sheet. I think that time your file is in open state.
Loading state?
I also
I just restart.
no. I also faced the same issue. That time maybe your file is in open state. If you close that file, it automatically did it.
So what is the solution? You just what did you do for solving this problem?
Just I have closed that Excel sheet. It was open in another window. Close it to read it.
But in my case, I just restarted, and the next day I again tried. It's still showing me the problem.
Okay, then.
Not sure. We'll have to check exactly what is the issue.
Hey, Ankit, I have notebook means that, but I'm using the Databricks. Is it okay?
Anything is fine. Anything is fine. If it is working, you are able to write code. You can do anywhere.
Ankit, after installing the numpy, we need to pass some other command.
You just have to say import numpy as np in your Python program.
Through command prompt.
This is what import numpy as np and run this. That's it.
Okay.
In your script, if you are writing in PyCharm, for example, so you have to write on the top. Generally, we write right. So on top, I will write import numpy as np. That's it. So all the imports you will do at the top. Okay.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah. Okay, great. Thank you, everyone. Just go through it. I will add some assignments. And from Thursday, we are going to start pandas. The most important thing in whole course, you will be mostly working with pandas in the data world. So make sure you join Thursday, Friday sessions. I think 2 days we will take at least to cover pandas. Okay. And if you are from SQL background, be happy because now you can able to relate from SQL exactly in pandas. Okay,
Ankit,
great.
small doubt.
Yeah.
Yeah. Now I am installing the Jupyter notebook in my through command prompt, but after some time it's saying like installing collected packages.
Right.
Stuck somewhere.
Yeah, it will
It's
take
taking
some
some
time
time.
to install it. Few seconds
Yeah.
it will take.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Hello,
Ankit, I have
Ankit,
one
same
small.
question.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, same question. Actually, one of the follow-up question on that installation. Actually, I started the installation, but actually it is saying warning the script f2py.exe is installed in c.path. It has given path and which is not on path. It is saying. Shall I share my screen and show you?
Okay. We have 4 more minutes. You are Chetan, right?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
Is it visible?
Yeah.
Yeah. So actually, I ran this command.
So it is saying successfully installed numpy, right?
Yeah, but actually, when I'm, when I'm importing that Jupyter notebook, actually Jupyter notebook, it is not recognized. It is saying.
You have installed Jupyter Notebook?
Yeah.
Can you do again pip install Jupyter Notebook? Jupyter Notebook, I think you have to say. So you have to see where it has installed in your Python executables, right?
Okay.
Go to the Python path and see, and then add that path to your environment variable.
Okay,
Then it will work. That is the only problem you can have. When your path is not there in environment variable, it won't find it.
Okay. So that is wherever that installed that installation path I need to give into environment variable.
Right, exactly.
Okay. Sure, I will do that. Okay.
Okay. Yeah.
Thank you.
If anyone faces any issues, just Google the error. You will find some solution 100%. Okay.
Sure.
So, Ankit.
Yeah.
Can you hear me, right?
Sorry?
Hello. Can you hear me, right?
Yeah. Go ahead.
Okay. So in a array, I have created a list of lists, right? So suppose one list I have passed with 3 elements and one list I have passed with 2 elements. So it can recognize it, right?
No. So that it will give you error. Yeah, it will give
So
you
we
error.
have to pass the equal elements in the same 2 lists, right?
Number of columns should be same in all the rows, right?
Okay.
Otherwise, it will give you error.
But by default, it will not take 0.
No. It won't take 0 by default. No.
Okay. One more thing, doubt is that suppose if I want to remove particular element from so in that case you cannot remove element, right? Columns will not satisfy. Okay.
No. You can just reassign it to 0.
Yes. Okay. Column will not satisfy if you remove a particular element. Okay.
Yeah. Number of columns has to be same in all the rows.
Same. Yes. Okay.
Okay, guys. Thank you. I need to drop off now. See you on Thursday. Have a great day. And whoever has not completed the project, you can do it by this weekend. So please attempt the project. Just don't leave it as it is. You will learn a lot of things. 100% you will get your confidence in Python skills. So do attempt the project. Okay. And obviously I will share the solution later.